But then I also have to switch over to my captain's pipe.
I love it.
This is my thinking area, and this is how I think.
If you like to talk about combat sports and you want to join the discussion, click the subscribe button below and the bell notification icon next to it and join Knucklehead Nation. Ladies and gentlemen of Knucklehead Nation, thank you so much for joining us for another episode of the FightersRep video podcast, also known as the Keep It Clean podcast. And tonight, we're keeping it clean and quarantining it up with none other than Charles the Rockstar Rodriguez in his captain's hat with his thinking pipe. Charles, how are you doing, and what do you got in that pipe, brother?
Oh, this is a whole bunch of thinking magic I got right here. You caught me in my thinking area during my thinking time. You know, quarantine gives us a lot of thinking time, so I'm using it to the fullest. I'm captain of thoughts over here.
I love it, and I love the background. Half of it sort of in outer space with some nebulas going on, and then I know we've got Dragon Ball Z just to the left of that.
There we go. Well, just knocked it down.
Oh, no.
There we go.
Very nice.
I need this to center me, you know?
Are you before we continue, are you inspired at all by Dragon Ball?
Oh, yeah. I started watching Dragon Ball when I was like 6 years old, and I was like, yeah, I want to be a hero. Yeah, I'll fight bad guys. That's what's up. Kind of never let go of that. So, yeah. I look at that poster and be like, let's keep fighting bad guys. Let's keep being a hero.
And are you sipping whiskey right now?
Oh, actually, I just found out The Rock let out a bottle of tequila.
Wow.
And if The Rock is going to make a tequila, I'm going to go ahead and drink it.
Wow. On the rocks, or? I tried. I'm sorry. I'm doing my best here.
No. That was great. I missed my opportunity. That was all you, bro.
Charles, you are a fantastic fighter, an incredibly talented fighter. I'm talking to the guy in the captain's hat. And you're 4-2 in glory. You're coming off of a win. Where do you see your career going? I mean, you've been fighting for glory. It looks like 6 fights now. Are you going to stay with them? Yeah. Are you trying to do something else? What's going on with your career?
Actually, I just hit a really fun point. Well, firstly, I'm about to sign I just came out of my 2-year contract with them, and I'm about to sign a 3-year contract with them.
Wow.
And with that, I'm understanding, like, I know a lot of people, they see me and they identify me as Charles, the glory fighter. But I've kind of had a weird, my own identification with that. Like, I'm just kind of doing glory for a minute. I'm just visiting. I'm kind of a crazy person. It takes me a while to get things. And it's been 2 years of fighting for glory. And I'm like, guess I'm a glory fighter. Yeah. And now they're both giving me 3 more years. Like, I guess I'm doing it.
What was? I mean, that's really amazing. And congrats on that. When did you sign that contract?
I signed it right before the quarantine.
Wow. Wow, you got him right on time, brother. Right.
Slid in at home, baby.
So, that's really funny. So, I mean, what was kind of your journey? What was kind of your journey to get there? I mean, you haven't reached your peak yet, but what was your journey so far to get there?
I appreciate that question, bro. Because my journey's a little weird. I kind of stumbled my way into this. I had like weird anger issues growing up because I'm a really nice guy. Right? I genuinely love people. I love helping people, and I hold a lot in for the sake of the people I care about. Like, I endure a lot. I was like, I need to go somewhere where I just hit things as hard as I can, as much as I can, and. Later on, I find out fighting's in my blood and stuff. So I was like, oh, that's why I feel sulfur in my veins. But I just kind of went off the instinct. I need to be punching things to stay the person I am. So one of my best friends, Ryan Katsui, we were both dudes out of the sport. Then we went to go see his uncle George Katsui, a legend of Bay Area Muay Thai with 6 world champions. The man's a phenom. I was like, well. He sounds like he really knows how to punch some things, so I'm going to go talk to him.
Yeah.
A couple of years later, he's pro MMA, I'm pro Muay Thai, now fighting in glory. We're we made a good decision. We both had some things we had to punch about. We got professionally good at punching.
But what kind of, well, besides the fact that you felt like you needed to punch things because you're a caring guy.
Yes.
What was the journey?
It makes sense.
No, it does. I feel the same way. I'm not as good at punching stuff as you are. But what is it what was the journey? Did you start off? Because I met you through Dan Bam Bam Stell, referee with the IKF. So did you kind of start with the IKF? How did you start off?
Once I finally started getting the ball rolling, I was doing smokers back when smokers were a thing back in the day. I believe that's where I met Bam Bam. And then from there, I started doing some of the local amateur matches. About 4 fights in, I got to fight for my first IKF title. And that's when I became a state champion. And that's one of the time I should have started getting the idea that I was like a fighter, and I was like, nah, this is just a cool belt.
And what was that, if you don't mind me asking, Charles?
I'm sorry, when?
When was it that you became the IKF champ?
I became an amateur IKF champ. That was 2014.
Oh, okay, so not too long ago. Just 6 years back.
Yeah, I'm still a little green. I'm still a little fresh.
And you haven't even primed yet, right? You're just, 30 years old now?
Just turned 31.
Wow, congrats, man. Happy birthday. So the IKF thing obviously is important to us as a fight promotion that's sanctioned by them. It's encouraging to see the track, of you going from IKF to glory.
Oh yes, it's definitely like I still go to the local fights now just to let people know it's like, hey, we're on the right track, because I went from all the fights I fought in my amateur career were all through IKF, except when I went out of state. But I went from becoming a state champ, then from there I became the regional champ. Actually, IKF even sanctioned my fight when I fought in Hawaii. I became the California regional champ. They gave me a purple belt. It's still my favorite belt because of the purple.
Yeah.
But from that point, let's see. Me and Steve Fossum got a lot of fun running the head of the IKF. And let's see.
What do you mean by that?
Well, he's all, IKF is very order and very, put together.
Yeah.
And I'm chaos. So I go out of my way to mess with him and try to turn the show sideways. Steve Fossum sweating. I'm down.
Yeah. Me and Steve Fossum have made each other sweat a few times. I'll say that, but I understand where he's coming from. He does have like an entire planet of IKF events going on at a time. So I can appreciate how annoying that could probably be.
Oh yeah, but it's my job to annoy him. But he's IKF's always on big things. We were in the talks about sending out to Malaysia by the end of the year. So we're still cooking. He's not talking to me yet.
Do you know that he's actually going to be on the show tomorrow?
Oh heck yeah! Do you have Collins? I call him in.
Yes. I'm gonna allow you to do that. Yes, you can. Yes,
I'm gonna get a mystery voice changer and just threaten him. I'm gonna threaten his shoes, because I always gotta roast him for his shoes.
I haven't met him. It's crazy. I've been working with him for a year. I haven't met him in person. He wears funny shoes. I wasn't aware of the shoes.
It's the way officials dress. He's got to wear the shirt and tie, the nice pants, and some super dad New Balances. And I'm like, hey, Steve, let me talk to you about this real quick.
Oh, shit.
I know you're running around. I know you got to be comfortable. I know you got to keep it professional and you got to stay comfy. It was like, I'm going to roast you, Steve. And we'll talk about this, all right?
I love it.
Not worry about these choices.
Charles, glory. And I don't have any problem at all as, one of, if not the only pro kickboxing promoter in the state of California right now. But Glory is badass, man. How is it from the inside? Because it just looks so clean. It looks so dope, man.
I got the privilege of my last fight. I got to bring my girlfriend with me for the first time, and I got to see it through fresh eyes. I've been doing it for over 2 years now, and I got to see through her eyes. I'm like, yeah, this is still really cool, man. Everything you think of what a dream job as a professional kickboxer is, that's Glory.
Yeah, I mean, it just looks so clean. Their setup, the lighting, everything that they do just looks to be on another level. For me, I find it more attractive and more appealing than MMA and like even UFC's production and stuff like that.
You know what? There's so many things that I like. That I'm a kickboxer by choice. I've always had a love for that art, and like it's and like this whole this experience with Glory definitely let me know that I was in the right spot, because I didn't think I was going to be able to get to this professional level, to this like just that high level of like throughout the world, throughout the community, without transferring to MMA. And then I got that call from Glory a couple of years back, and I fought with them. I was like, oh, I could just keep doing this. Like they made it so I didn't have to like start looking at MMA promoters and like switching over from Muay Thai to doing more groundwork. I got to find an avenue where I could feel like the level of which I'm performing at is getting like recognized, and I'm on the big stage. Yeah. People in Japan know who I am all of a sudden. So it's like I'm so appreciative of it, and like 2 years into it, it's still a dream. Like you'll see if you watch my fights, you could see the look on my face before a fight. Like I'm just looking at the lights, I'm looking at the ring, because I'm never not just in awe of all of it.
And it's just, it's doing something you love, right? You don't have to work on the ground game and stuff, because, that's probably not something you want to do. That's probably something as a fighter a lot of guys are probably forced to do a lot of the time, right? Because there's not a lot of striking shows around.
Exactly. Well, actually, that's one of the coolest things about Glory. Like after 2 years of me finally getting to where I'm at, I actually got to finally quit my day job, and I was ready to just be a full-time martial artist for the first time, and just have these whole other avenues that I get to like explore as a full-time martial artist, as opposed to, like I do the fight, then I go back to work, and then I find time for training and this and that. I get to be completely dedicated to this craft, not just like in training myself, but investing in my team, Team Tetsuya Combat Fitness,
shout out
here. Yeah. And I only get to have that because of my time with IKF, because of the opportunities that afforded me with Glory, and now I have just this cool international thing going on, and it's just a blessing, man. I can never stop being appreciative of it.
Is it hard to have a girlfriend when you're an internationally renowned fighter, Charles?
You know what? It would be. But like I actually, because here's the thing, I did a lot of dating in the first part of my career, and girls can't keep up with this typically. The girlfriend I have, my lovely Brianna, she definitely got to, because I think when we first started dating, I was already in camp, and I was already like, you have to know this about my life. You better watch out this. Don't even eat this around me. I got a weight cut coming up. I got deadlines. No, you can't talk to me when I'm in the sauna. And she was like, oh yeah, cool. Live your dream, bro. And I was like, I was ready for that answer. And like, she's been my road dog since.
Very nice. Because I noticed that one of your fights was in my hometown of Miami, Florida. And there can be a lot of trouble associated with heading to Miami, Florida, brother.
Okay, this is one of the other things that's really good about our relationship. I got to be very transparent with her, and I was like, Bree, these are some of the most beautiful women I've ever seen, and they're everywhere. It was like, but feel safe, because I don't speak no Spanish, like despite the Rodriguez, so I can't get nowhere. And like, I think that language barrier built that confidence that our relationship, needed to endure me being in Miami by myself with my family.
So sometimes it is good not to know a second language, is what you're saying, Charles.
Save my relationship, bro.
So, speaking of Rodriguez, that is interesting now that you brought it up. So, your last name is Rodriguez. I mean, are you of a different nationality? Do you speak any other languages, anything like that?
Nah. I'm a Black Puerto Rican Jew.
Okay.
I'm very Bay Area in that way, because I look around and like I'm seeing I know Italian Indians, and I know Cherokee Italian Filipinos, and it's just a Bay thing. We just stir it up,
Yeah, no, I get it. Being from Miami, I actually I played basketball in high school, and one of my teammates was a Black Puerto Rican Jew. He was actually the best guy on the team. So look at that. That's a hell of a mix, brother.
Can you give me my cousin's number, please? We miss each other. I haven't seen that dude my entire life.
He was a great guy. Somebody has a serious question for you in the chat, Charles. It's Lefty156.
Oh, I got a bunch of questions from Lefty. Oh, but he sent it in?
Yeah, it's right here on the YouTube channel. It says, who would win in a fight between Charles wearing a suit made of bread and a dozen ducks?
Ooh, sheesh. All right. What kind of diet were these ducks on before? We're talking about keto ducks. We're talking about have these ducks been tested? Like, do they got to go through all the screening?
These would be Atkins diet ducks who are on their cheat day. They're on their cheat day, Charles.
All right. Okay. Wait. Hold on a second. That's extra carb motivation.
Yep.
I'm gonna win, but I'm not coming out, with all my limbs. I'm gonna win though. I'm gonna find a way. I got the heart of a champion. I'm not going down by no ducks, but I'll lose an arm to do it.
I believe it.
Hey,
Charles, speaking of which, do you know who you're fighting next, or where you're fighting next?
We were looking at Miami before all this crisis got back, but then it got pushed back. Also, we were scheduled to fight at the. Wait, am I supposed to be talking about this? Stop me. Well, there were plans.
Miami, Ohio?
Yeah, we were looking at Miami, Ohio, near the lake. It was going to be a scenic event. But things got a little topsy-turvy as of late. So we're looking at stuff. But I didn't have an opponent. But we sent them a few names. I'm looking at finding my place around the top-ranked middleweights in the world. So we'll see if I can pull that off. I'm feeling eager to get some numbers next to my name.
For sure. What was the name of your team that you mentioned earlier?
Oh, that'd be Fight Team Titsui over at Combat Fitness in Concord, California.
Okay, gotcha.
Look them up.
Gotcha.
Yep.
And how long you been there, Charles?
Oh, my entire career. I walked in there day one back in 2011, 2012. No, yeah, it was the end of 2011. And that's been my home ever since. I walked in there, and I think they were playing Ice Cube, and I was like, yeah, this is my gym. I'm comfortable here.
Well, I hope that gym is not on Steve Fossum's blacklist.
We have been before because of my shenanigans. Our team gets pretty rowdy. They call us the hypey team at all the amateur events, and we get down every time. We threw something. The chairs were thrown. Like one of our guys won. At some point I got in trouble for throwing money on
Wow.
one of my fighters defended his championship title, and I was like, well, and they're like, Charlie, you shouldn't do that. I was like, I can't think of a reason not to.
I can't help myself. But besides, I mean, speaking of throwing money, one of my, you told me to look at your Instagram.
Yes, it's a good show.
Your Instagram is definitely entertainment. And one of my favorite pictures was you as a ring card boy. I've never seen that before, and I was really impressed by that.
Thank you very much. Now that is what I call destiny fulfilled. Because you see, when I first started into this, I came up with two young ladies. One was in middle school, one was in high school. These are the striking sisters, Star Monroe and Kaylee Monroe. They're both super badass young ladies, and I'd watch them win these fights and then like pose with the ring girls, and I'm like, that's a little off. That feels a little wonky. Like when my boys win, they give you the ring girls. Like, yeah, but I was like, where's the ring boys? Because in all the fights I go to, there's a good amount of women fighters. Most of them have a main event with a woman title on the line, and I'm like, they deserve some candy, and I couldn't think of a sweeter treat.
Oh my goodness!
But in all seriousness, so that was my idea back in like 2014, right? I was like, there should be a ring boy, and I actually hit up some promoters, and it didn't really go down, and I was focusing on doing my thing, and then at some point I got hit up for the West Coast Elite, and
Charles, Steve Fossum, who I knew was watching this, and that's why
Steve's watching.
I knew he was watching this. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the president of the IKF, the sanctioning body. He says Charles would never be on any blacklist and sends me an emoji with a wink.
Right? Who would blacklist me and why? Like, what can I possibly do to get in trouble with Steve Awesome? Come on now.
Oh my God! And Lefty followed up on his question by saying TRT Vitor ducks. So these were TRT Vitor ducks.
So I'm losing 2 arms, but I'm still getting that done.
And you guys would have to fight in Brazil if they're on TRT. That would be their home territory.
These are Brazilian ducks?
Yeah, so you've got, very little chance. They could know capoeira. They could know BJJ.
I'll tell you what. All right. If I had prep time, if I had my coach cornering me, that's the way I pull that off. That's the only way to pull that off.
I love it. So, I think I asked you where you were fighting next, but you don't have a name yet.
We don't got a name yet. We're looking to come at anyone in the top 10 in the welterweights. We're like anyone in there. I want any name. I just want to muscle my way in. I was in the top 12 as number 12, and that felt good. I was like, let me muscle my way in there a little bit more.
Yeah.
Sorry. Before I move on, I gotta make sure I get a shout out to Jazzy for making sure I got the ring boy. That's the young lady who asked me to be her ring boy for her championship fight. That's right. She hit me up personally. She said, I'm hitting up the promoter because I want a ring boy. I want you to be my ring boy for my championship fight. And I was like, my goodness. And wow. I got the ring boy for her, and she won, and I got to be in the ring with her, and I got to honor her and give her all the praise, and it was amazing. It was a fantastic experience. I hope they get more ring boys to show appreciation to our female athletes.
Oh gosh. Having put together a few events, I don't know, this scenario just popped up in my head. What if somebody was, upset that there was a ring boy and tried picking a fight with you and, got destroyed? Is that something that could happen or?
I don't think so, man. I have because even when people do get confrontational with me, my girlfriend's actually seen me have to defuse things. And this is how, in case of an event, this is how the Rockstar handles confrontation. I do this. Hey, man. It's not a good idea. I put my hands behind my back. I stick my chin out. And I'm like, you could. It's not a good idea.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this. If you did that to me with that captain's hat on, I'm running for my life, brother.
Bro, I will say, because you hit me, I get on my ship. That's cannons you're dealing with, bro.
Oh, my goodness.
That happens real fast. I go to 0 to cannons real quick, bro.
I love it. Charles, do you think, Glory or kickboxing at some point can sort of take the spot of MMA, or is that something that, kickboxing promoters like me are hoping for, something that'll never happen?
I think it's coming. Well, and honestly, I think we have a very comparable product we're giving. Like, people like stand-up fighting, and people like the knockouts, and we have crazy good athletes. Like Cedric Doumbé is a freak. Alex Pereira is our champ, and he's making it look easy. So our product is solid. The cool thing though about what MMA and UFC has done though is definitely triggered a lot of people's just fascination with the fight game, and I feel like we're actually getting people introduced to combat because the spectacle of MMA is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
But they're like, hey, this is the aspect I really like about it is the striking, and I'm learning, and with beautiful, brilliant minds like Joe Rogan and everything, really breaking down the arts. People are hearing about Muay Thai. People are hearing about kickboxing, and they're staying in tune. So the fight, since MMA, the fight fan base has gotten so big, and there's enough for more martial artists now, and there's enough for more promotion. So I feel as I've been a part of the game for almost a decade, and I'm watching each sport get to grow, and there's a balance there, and it's a beautiful thing.
Steve Fossum is hitting me up again, and he says, Charles has massive clout with all of us, always a class act. And so you are aware what a super stud Charles's trainer, George Tsutsui, was. Let me gather his list of titles for you. So we've got the president of the IKF right now doing research.
I have to take my captain's hat off when you talk about George Tsutsui, because that's when that man gets brought up, I have to humble myself. I'm button my buttons up.
I'm loving the respect. We've got Candice Nike.
That's one of my best friends from middle school. That is Candice Ganesh. I'm curious to see.
Ganesh. I apologize for brutalizing your surname there, Candice. She says, "Punch them with kindness."
That's how I do.
I love it.
It's love. These are fists full of love. But I believe Steve Fossum had a list of my illustrious coach's career.
Well, I think it's so long. He's still looking for it. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to put it together by the end of this.
Here's the other thing about talking about George Tsutsui. This man, the reason why a lot of people don't know about the 6-time world champion that's like even in my area, he's a very private man and would just completely destroy people. First of all, his record is 120-1, something like that.
Wow,
but I've been training under him for almost a decade, and he still I've seen his highlight reel once because he had it on YouTube for 5 minutes. Then he took it off. He was like, I want people knowing about me. They don't need to know my name. But I was like, hey, coach, if I get interviewed, can I talk about you? He's like, you can talk about me, but I don't want me talking about me.
So Charles, you're a Muay Thai base? Was that the base of your career?
All day, sir. I got to a point in my Muay Thai career where I wasn't fighting fights as frequently as I wanted to, because I'm a very restless, come on, what's next kind of guy. And that's around the time, and through actually my Muay Thai experiences under WCK with Dennis Warner, shout out to the homie, always been a part of bringing me up. He hooked me up with Glory, and then from there it's been like, well, Glory keep me busy, and Glory will fly me out, and then I got all the big lights and got to hang out with Joe Valtolini and Todd Grisham, like the coolest guys in the world. I'm like, yeah, I'll keep doing this.
These questions in this YouTube super chat are getting more and more interesting by the second, Charles. Before I get into them, guys, if you haven't already, please help me continue to grow the channel and FightersRep Promotions, the only exclusively kickboxing promotion in the state of California.
Build up the fight community.
Yeah, baby.
That's the things I realized I had the opportunity as I became this rock star that I am. I was like, I could definitely be making sure like my Muay Thai community, my Bay Area Muay Thai community is definitely coming up, and like the fight game all just starts getting the attention it deserves. I feel myself becoming this ambassador, and I'm like, I could do that.
Yeah, and maybe simultaneously for whatever tequila brand what's the name of the Rock's tequila brand?
It's not called the People's Tequila, which I was a little disappointed about. It's Terramana.
What was that now? Terramana. I got shot. Terramana, man. Give my boy Charles Rockstar Rodriguez a holler and sponsor him, man. Check him out.
If I get sponsored by the Rock's Tequila, oh my goodness.
It's happening. We're putting it out there in the universe that's behind you on that banner right now. Put it out there. So, like I said, hit that subscribe button below, the bell notification icon. Help me continue to build not only this podcast, but FightersRep Promotions. And, we're building up some fantastic talent on our promotions. We did our first Pro-Am show in February. Charles, it was a sellout. It was madness.
Nice.
It was nuts. And as we briefly discussed on the Facebook Messenger, Anderson Silva's son fought for us, man.
I saw Little Silva fight. I was watching that on YouTube. That was crazy. I was like, oh, these guys got a nice little show there.
Man, it was really exciting to have him on there. So let's go back to some of these questions because I don't want anyone to feel left out. Dennis de Guzman says, "Is Charles wearing pants or is he in Speedos?" If you could just stand up for us, Charles.
Okay, so my cousin went to Japan, and he was like, I saw these, and I thought of you. And, like, I'm on quarantine, so this is what I'm just wearing every day. Super comfy.
Oh, those are so good. Do those say beer on them?
They say beer on them.
Wow.
I think it's like the only English on here. Yeah, the rest is Japanese. So, yeah. Got my Japanese beer shorts.
Do you think Japanese people that don't speak English think that that's just a translation of the letters that are underneath beer?
In my imagination, I hope people are walking around with beer tattooed on them. They're just like, it means empowerment.
And there's a 20 there. Does that stand for ounces, or what's the 20 about? I think I saw a 20.
I think that's my worth.
I see. Well,
it's my price.
That must be at the very least English pounds or something, because you're definitely worth more than $20, brother.
Sense.
So, Dennis, I hope we answered your question. Candace is back on. She says,
hi, Candace.
She says, follow-up question: is the Speedo an American flag?
Oh, I say that one's in my Speedo closet. That's actually this one right here. I got a closet full of Speedos for whatever occasion. You know?
Very, very organized.
Birthdays, funerals. I got a lot of funeral Speedos. It's more appropriate than people think. Like you got to lift the mood, you know.
Oh goodness! And well, has that organization helped you in your fight career?
my Speedo organization?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like one of the things that Glory really likes about me is I'm camera ready most times, and they're just like, "Chuck, we need you in a Speedo now," and I'm like, "I got you."
Love it.
Which one you need, Glory? Which one?
Lefty's back on. He says, follow up to the follow up. Will you ever be sponsored by maple syrup?
This close. There's let's say if people do feel like venturing onto my Instagram, there was not really promoting anything, but there are pictures of me in a lumberjack's outfit with syrup.
Wow.
Yeah,
and you guys can check that out at his handle right there on the screen. Underneath,
that Rockstar hype, baby.
That Rockstar hype. Definitely one of the more entertaining Instagrams of any of the guests we've had on.
I feel like you curated it well, thank you.
And Dennis Gnesh says bat mitzvah Speedos.
I need some bat mitzvah and bar mitzvah Speedos. You're absolutely right. Thank you. I'm actually gonna open up a poll for what my next Speedo will be for my glory weigh-ins. So that's really good. It's funny because I was taking a poll of questions. I actually have a bunch from people here too.
Dude, read them off. Let's hear what they are.
All right, so I have answers for this. Okay, my friend Quiggy hit me up and said, "What's the hungriest I've ever been?" And I want to say I've had when you're cutting weight, typically my stomach shrinks, so I don't necessarily get hungry. So I haven't gotten that hungry during a weight cut. But at one time I was driving, and I remember I was having a conversation with my girlfriend, and she saw my face drop, and she's like, "Oh my God, what was that? What just happened?" I was like, "I just got hungry." But I remember it was so profound that she thought I just like remembered a dead relative or something.
Well,
my face went.
Charles, you cut out for a second there. So you said.
Oh, sorry.
So you said she asked you what happened to your face, and then what happened?
Well, it was just a profound amount of hunger hit me. I think I had worked out for like 4 hours that day, and the adrenaline was still going. I was still hot, and I think it was like 40 minutes. I went home and showered, and we were going to get some food.
Yeah.
And this profound, life-changing, life-threatening hunger hit my stomach, and this look on my face made her stop talking and be like, "Yo, whoa, what happened?" I was like, "I'm hungry." And I think that was the hungriest I've ever been.
And well, I mean, you can't stop it there. Where did you guys go?
We were on our way to a burger lounge, and I got 3 patties, and I satiated that monster.
Wow,
I couldn't live with that hurt, you know.
3 patties, man.
Out of hunger.
3 patties. That's a lot of meat, bro.
And then he follow-up question was, what's the most food I ate? I used to live in Denver, and I lived with a lot of Mexicans. And one of the things about me and food-related cultures, all the aunties love to feed me. Filipinos, Italians, Mexicans, friggin' like any food culture, they love me because I just eat and I eat. And one time I went too far and I couldn't go home because I couldn't get up, and that was a horrifying experience. But it was spaghetti. It was a Mexican grandma's spaghetti that was just made out of love, and I just could. And every time I felt full, she would look at me with those big grandma eyes, and I was like, I'm gonna keep eating. I'm gonna keep eating, and I did that for her. Let's see. Oh, my boy Giovanni, who trained with me at Combat Fitness and then went off to the Air Force. Salute to you, brother. He asked me.
Thank you for your service, Giovanni.
Oh, of course, that's my bro out there. He asked me left or right Twix, and I gotta tell you, those cookies and cream Twix are where it's at. I'm eating both sides of those.
Nice.
But lately, I've been trying to be cool on the sweet tooth because I can't hit the gym as much as I want. So I'll get that every now and then when I'm feeling good. Let's see. Oh, my boy Dennis de Guzman. Shout out for Round 5 Fitness out in San Leandro. That's my brother right there. He was asking me a lot of good questions for my fellow martial artists and fellow kickboxers. He was asking me about do I believe in hard sparring, and I do. I try not to do it often. I'll try to do it like once a week. But for me personally, I need to feel that intensity often. And luckily enough, I have Team Black comes by my gym and they bring the Butcher Matt Baker, all 6'5", 215 pounds of him, and we just, let's kill each other. And like we've been doing that. We've been doing that since our amateur league, and then like now we're in glory together, and just that's actually a really powerful bond right there, because we've been trying to kill each other for this long, and neither one of us are dead, and we're both in glory, or we died sparring each other, and glory is our heaven.
Wow, I love that. But I mean, Charles, do you taper it down though as the fight approaches, or do you
absolutely. I have to delete Matt Baker's number 2 weeks before a fight. I don't want him texting me. I don't want him thinking about me, because that man is a danger to all my joints, all my limbs.
I see.
That's my brother right there. Anytime you guys hear about a Matt Baker fight, you're gonna want to watch that, because that man puts on a show, and you get to watch his passion, you get to watch his drive, and he's definitely going to be like one of the top American fighters for this sport, hands down. I get the pleasure of watching this boy make history. I'm so proud of him.
I look forward to it. Are there any more questions there? Or?
There's a good amount.
My goodness.
Dennis also asked me about running. I stick to the old Thai proverb: no run, no fight.
Yeah.
Like if you ain't running, we're not even looking for a smoker for you. Like you gotta be doing that road work. I think it's physically, of course, is applicable. You gotta helps keep your weight down, helps keep your cardio up. But I also feel like it shows that outside of the gym dedication that coaches want to see. And as I'm coaching my amateur fighters and stuff, I tell them the same thing. It's like if you're putting your miles in, I know you're taking this seriously, so I'm taking you seriously. That's kind of like I was saying. I'm taking that from the ties. He also asked me about lifting and my walk-around weight, which I think for me personally is a tandem thing, because I'm naturally huge. Because before I did Muay Thai, I did what I called rage lifting, and I would just grab whatever weight, just get those endorphins going, and just get myself way too puffy. And because of that, I'm constantly like staying as small as I can, because I'm still working out the excess muscle I have. And for lifting, for my overly muscled self, I have to stay pretty lean. I got to stay light on that. If I lift too heavy, I get big and I can't make the muscles go away.
Yeah.
And that causes so much problems with the women. I just don't need that extra stress in my life.
I know, and your girlfriend doesn't need that either. Come on, she doesn't deserve that.
Honestly, her biggest issue is when I start lifting, my butt gets really three-dimensional, and she's like, I'm gonna hurt my hand today just slapping it. I'm like, you have every right to.
Oh my god!
Like I don't need that for fighting. Let's see.
You can crack a walnut in there, Charles.
It's happened. It's happened. No walnut has survived my butt. Okay, one more from Dennis, or two more. We have pre-fight ritual, which is actually a very, very personal thing for me. I have I have a very good corner, a very grounding corner. I have, of course, the legendary George Tsutsui. I have one of my favorite coaches, Eric Hofstein, and Dan Kelly right there with me. And these are like, I grew up without a dad, so these three heads right here are like my father figures that I'm ready to go into war with these guys, and we're just there quietly. I'm taking on their energy, and then at some point I break away and I try to connect with my father, my deceased father, and I'm understanding that I'm in a place like, cause we'll go into it later, but he was a fighter too, and I just kind of sit there in a minute, and I have this really profound acceptance of, this is me connecting with my lineage, with my father's legacy. And then at that point, I also get to talk to, I'd have a little mental talk with myself with little Charles, who would just be, watching this on TV and like, that's the coolest guy in the world. I want to be like him. And I get this this harmony between past, present, and future Charles. And then I just hold that piece and I go, let's go take on the world now.
Yeah.
I'll say with that centeredness, I'm like, I'll go fight Van Damme with 2 bazookas. I don't care.
That's dope. But would you fight Chuck Norris?
How much time do I have to train with George Tsutsui?
So Steve sent me what looks like a novel of information here.
Are we going to talk about George Tsutsui right now?
Yes, that's why you brought him up. George TNT Tsutsui, amateur IKF titles, IKF amateur international rules, United States light welterweight champion. Tsutsui won this title when he defeated Sugi Yamaguchi of San Diego by majority decision. The bout was at Travis Air Force Base. Pro IKF titles. He was a pro international rules IKF United States welterweight title holder. He won that on November 16th, 1996. It was also Bout of the Year. He was also IKF Pro International Rules United States light welterweight title holder.
Can I pause real quick?
Yes.
Just so you know, like I've been under this man for 10 years, and I've interviewed him, I've questioned him, like, I'm his fighter, we should have these talk. He isn't telling me none of this. So this is a lot, like, all I've known is he's put bodies in body bags. That's what so I get to hear like the actual nitty gritty of it. I'm appreciative of this. Please continue.
And in '96 he was the Pro Fighter of the Year, and when he retired, his kickboxing record, amateur and pro kickboxing record alone, was 18-1 with 14 KOs, and he won several other ISKA titles as well. So I'm just talking about IKF because, that's who we hang out with. Those are our buddies, but he won several.
Oh, no, they were probably the most organized at that time, because I know he was also doing Sanshao and just like any fight he could get his hands on, and he's like, I think including his Sanshao and his Muay Thai record, he had over 150 fights, and he was just collecting scalps.
And Steve says he retired his international rules titles so he could just fight Muay Thai.
Is that why he did that?
Yeah, so he's a destroyer for sure.
He was all about this, which is also perfect for me because like I like to keep myself humble, and it's real easy to stay humble when you got that just right on your shoulder. Because I'm like, oh, Charles, you fighting glory, you're beating people up. I'm like, they're still alive, so I'm not that cool. There hasn't been 100 of them yet, so I'm all right. Like, I'm getting there.
And Steve did give me permission to mention the ISKA. I would never deface you like that, Steve, by mentioning them without your permission. So continue with the Rockstar questions. I was actually really enjoying this segment.
Oh, all right. Let's see.
If you don't mind, Charles.
No, not at all. Oh, from my friend Lefty, he said, how much meth would it take for me to marry Joe Exotic? And I actually had to think, like, if I'm being objective about it, I haven't done meth before, so I probably have a low tolerance for it. Probably not much. Like, how many? I would hope I have the constitution like to demand a tiger. at least a tiger. But when meth comes around, no one's asking questions.
I mean, I'm gonna have to agree. I mean, if the guy can, tame a tiger, who am I? I'm like a pussycat. You know what I mean?
That is sound logic. The man tames tigers. Come on.
I mean, I'm like a baby. I'm
just a man.
I'm a hamster. I mean, what am I gonna do?
That is gold. That is gold. Oh, Lefty actually asked me a really good question. I'm excited to talk about. He was talking about how UFC has their own video game, and Glory's a part of a UFC streaming service. You can watch any Glory fight on UFC Fight Pass right now. He's like, is Glory ever going to come out with a video game? And I don't have the answer to that question, but I do know that we did get a contract with Ubisoft, I believe.
Oh.
And that's just something I know, and that's just something I know.
I did see that. I think printed on an ad or on the ring or some. Where was that? Is that somewhere?
I think I saw it on Facebook, and I probably threw my phone, so I didn't get to follow up on it. The excitement. It's okay. The company I work for is working with a video game company. I was like, all right, okay. Because if I could be honest with you, if I end up on a video game, I'm retiring. I've done what I'm here to do. I've made my mark. Done.
Like as soon as they confirm the video game is out, you send your 2 weeks. You send your 2 weeks notice to Glory.
And y'all know what I was here for. Come on now. you knew what I was in this game for.
That's funny, man.
Let's see.
And the fighting games have been good too, so I would imagine that game would be badass.
I will say, yeah, they're getting better and better, and Ubisoft has always been solid. So we'll see what we got there. Oh, my cousin Crystal, who's also in the Army. Crystal, my love. She's one of my favorite people in the world. She's barely under 5 foot, and I think she's a sergeant right now for the U.S. Army, and just a badass. I love her so much. She's one of my heroes. She was asking about staying in shape during quarantine, and I've been staying on just body weight stuff. For my martial artists, I definitely recommend this is a great time to play with your shadow boxing. Really good time to study up on fighters that fight similar to you. I've been taking this time to watch. I was supposed to watch fighters like me. I've been watching some Arthur Kashenko, who's got a style I really like. Ernesto Hus is one of the OGs that I always look to. But I keep watching that Badahari Rico collision. Oh my gosh! I can't stop watching fight.
Oh.
I'll say the walkouts alone. I was shook. I get to be a part of this team. I get to be a part of this phenomenon. It was one of the coolest things I've seen. Their walkouts alone were so cinematic. They sold out a soccer field. The way it ended, of course, left a lot of people. But I was the art, those giants being so meticulous and artistic and specific in their clashing styles. Just even seeing dudes that big going in and out of exchanges and still checking. I'm oh my god. I was throwing roses at my TV. It was too beautiful.
I've seen you throw roses before, by the way. I've seen you throw
I'm a
roses.
rose thrower, bro. Because I've thrown roses at my fights. I've thrown roses for my amateur competitors. A couple of my favorite fighters will go in there. I'll just make sure it's I believe in the old gladiator style. So I'm just yes. You're beautiful.
I love how you're shattering these gender roles with the flower girl and the ring card boy thing going on now. You're really you're a pioneer. You're a pioneer.
Thank you. I didn't know I didn't even think of it as a gender thing. I'm just recognizing that I'm beautiful and beauty should be floral. So because I think
no, I get it.
Beauty transcends. And flowers will accent that. But then I also think Muay Thai is so beautiful, and flowers in Muay Thai, that's Thailand. The most flamboyant fighter that I can think of is Sanchai, and I was like, I'll have that as my role model. He said, wear pink shorts and throw flowers. I'm like, hey, I'm not gonna fight you, bro. I'll listen to Sanchai.
Dude,
I'm not trying to get gently knocked out.
Dude, that better Hari versus Rico fight was insane, man.
My goodness, I'm still like mentally practicing some of the things I saw on there, like Rico's rear inside leg kick. I'm like, dude, who's consistently doing that? Badr Hari threw one of my favorite things that I still can't understand, where he puts his left shoulder on Rico's left shoulder and then comes over the top with like a right hook, and it's landing clean. And like, I don't even know how he makes the space to land that. It's like I'm trying to figure out like geometrically, and it's a beautiful and profound thing to watch. Like for any martial artist, just watch these incredibly talented giants just put on this artistic show. I'm like, I can't wait for Collision 3.
Dude, they are huge, and to be able to do what they do, man, it's outrageous. And for me at least, I mean, I think for everybody else too, but man, I didn't expect that. I thought Hari was getting, he was really getting off on Rico in that fight.
Yeah, that I'll say it was weirdly balanced yet still weirdly one-sided, because those 8 counts, like that's still gonna win the fight. But Rico was in there and he was getting. I'm like, I still can't tell you definitively which way that would have ended had that injury not occurred.
Right. I just, I thought maybe Badr Hari was already kind of in the twilight of his career, and Rico had been so active and smashing through people,
If I were to assume before the fight, I would have been on that same page with you. I was like, Rico's been active. Rico's the king. Rico's just a big dude, and like, hey, he had those numbers. But Badr Hari's just that. He's just that monster. That's just a guy you can't ever count out.
What a beast.
Absolutely.
Who else are you digging right now in Glory while we're still kind of on this question?
Man, I'm loving it. You know what? My boy Abraham Vidales. I love that dude so much. Like, I love watching him fight. He's like, in person, he's this really, really composed young man. He's a dentist. Yeah, Abraham, like he has a dentist demeanor, and then he gets in the ring and he has these hands of stone, and he has this really put together technique. He's absolutely like for Americans kickboxing, he's top notch. Troy Trouble Jones. I'm gonna talk about him. When I get in the ring with him, I'm gonna fill his face full of mud. But that dude's amazing. Like that's an amazing fighter. He's doing amazing things for American kickboxing. When he had the stones to step in the ring with Myrtle Groenhart on 12 days' notice, while Myrtle Groenhart was on like months of training to get him with Cedric Doumbé, I was like, you know what, Troy? If I see you in the streets, I'm gonna try, take your wallet. But like, bro, mad respect. I would say, like, he did. Like, I feel like, of course, he did that with him. He did that for his team. He did that for his family. But like the way he had the stones to go ahead and put himself out there like that. He raised up all of American kickboxing. And I'm humbled by him for it. I'm very appreciative for it, and I'm very excited to see what happens next.
Yeah, that took some balls, man, for him to fight.
Groenhart's scary. Like, how many? I don't know how many kickboxers have had Myrtle Groenhart nightmares, but he said, we do this right now.
Yeah, it's interesting you bring that up, Charles. So obviously I work with a lot of the camps here in Southern California, and we're starting to creep up to Northern California as well. We actually had...
Hey, holla at me, bro. I got a roster for you.
I love it, man. It definitely will. We actually had a kid from John Sanang's gym, Ethan Cachon, come and fight for us.
That kid's a little wrecking ball. I'm a big fan of Ethan Cachon. Have been beginning of my career. I think we came up around the same time, and like I got to watch him grow. And I think one of my favorite things is I got to watch him be the fighter he is, go to Thailand and become a better version of the fighter he already was, and just like his progress is something I'm always going to applaud. I love watching that kid fight.
Yeah, I mean, he put on a show, but we're working with some great camps down here. One of them is Black House MMA. I mean, kind of everybody knows Black House, Anderson Silva, Lyoto Machida, this and that. But
absolutely,
the striking coach there, Coach Rage, actually, I guess he had an opportunity to work with Groenhart. He went to their gym and did some sparring, and he actually told me, like, I asked him, Rage, who's the best striker that you've ever seen, like, in person? And he mentioned Groenhart as one of them. So
that's amazing. I can't wait to fight that guy. That's what I'm talking about. Oh my goodness. That's what I've been training for some time. Like, hey, worst case scenario, I get Groenhart on a short notice. I'm like, hey, I'm digging my knuckles into some hot coals, getting ready for that, man.
You see that attitude you have there, Charles. I feel like that's something that we don't get. That's something that kickboxing has given us that we don't really get that much in boxing. Right?
Yeah, I don't think none of us give a damn about our numbers, bro. Like the boys who are here to fight, they come to glory, and like we're all here to fight. It's and like being around these guys behind the scenes and stuff, it's crazy because we're all laid back. We're all just yeah. And the school was like, hey, that guy right there, I'm gonna try to take the jaw off. And it's just casual. It's like that dude's terrifying. Like he might kill me, but like I'm gonna try to break his leg. Like it's. We're all just here. We're just genuine fans of the art, genuine lovers of the craft, and we're like, hey, like Troy Jones. He said, I believe Furr was undefeated in glory when he took a 12-day notice Murtal Groenhart fight, and I'm like, that man doesn't give a damn about his record.
No,
like, that's a multi-sided dice to roll, and he was like, there wasn't a lot of opportunities for him to come out strong on that, and he was like, hey, I'll fight Murtal Groenhart.
Yeah, no, that's some balls for sure. Before we get to some more questions, another shameless plug, guys. Obviously, anything you guys donate to the super chat or buy in the links below, any Fighters Rep gear you buy in the links below, all of it gets reinvested right back into Fighters Rep promotions.
Fighters Rep gear.
Yeah, man. I need to send you.
I haven't checked out guys' gear store yet. I've only seen. I've watched, of course, the podcast and seen your guys' fights. I'm checking out that gear store.
I need to at least send you a shirt. It's mostly just shirts and hoodies and stuff, but I definitely need to get some to you. Candace asks, before we get to your questions, what 90s cartoon character energy do you bring into the ring?
Sheesh, that's a tough one, Candace. She's really trying to penetrate my soul right now. Well, I feel like I started off. I got my girlfriend Bree here. Bree?
Skeeter from Doug.
she says Skeeter from Doug. And I was like, I don't do that in fights. I was like, nah, I do that in fights too. No, I think if I'm going anywhere, I'm definitely leaning towards Dragon Ball Z. Like I definitely, with the amount of rage I used to fight with, I was definitely a Vegeta at some point. But I think I got myself mellowed out enough, and like I always have that appreciation for the fight, and always have that enthusiasm. So I'm finally making my way to Goku. I've arrived.
Charles, you mentioned being an angry kid. You mentioned this rage lifting. You mentioned rage fighting. Did something happen? Did you turn a corner at some point? Because you seem so pleasant. Are you still that way?
Bree, how am I doing with my rage? I'm good now. All right, I'm a lot better with it. It was more amount. I wasn't a rage active person. It was a rage suppressant person.
Nice.
And my only outlet was when I would punch. And for those who care to watch my fights, you could look in my eyes. I'm not really there. Like I like you see me, I'll come out to my fun song and I'll put on a good show. But once that bell rings, I go blank, and that's me going, all right, and release. And then what you're looking at is my rage incarnate.
I love it.
Actually, if I could direct attention to one, I think it was my Miami fight actually against Omari Boyd, where I actually lost. It's one of my favorite fights, but like I definitely lost a good fight in that one against a tremendous opponent for sure. Like I get to hold my pride intact losing to a man like that, and I get knocked down in the second round, and I get up and I'm like, all right, shaking it off, nothing happened, but really I still could not feel my legs. But at some point you see that like I'm completely like I'm coming forward to the man that just did like that hurt me more than I've ever been hurt before, and I'm like, bring it, more, and
Wow.
that wasn't a conscious thought. That was Rage Charles just going. I don't know his logic. I let him do his thing while he's in the ring. We don't talk much, but we're getting better at that.
I love it. Next question. Do you have more questions there? Otherwise, I'm gonna ask.
Oh, let's see. No, I'm all good. I'm think I filled my question quota.
Awesome. Lefty 156 says he's got to get back to work, but he loves you. Come to Australia when COVID-19 is over. He said.
I absolutely will. Australia's got great Muay Thai, so I'm definitely gonna make some time for that. Let's see. Anything else that we have? Oh, I got some. I actually got people texting in questions to me.
Hey.
Do you study a lot of fight tape? Oof. I should, but honestly, I have as a fight fan, when I watch fights to study them, I end up getting too excited and be like, oh my god, look at that! But not like on a technical level, look at that. And so I actually trust my coaches a lot with the fight tape. So which fighters tape have I enjoyed the most? George Satsui, all-time favorite fighter to watch, and I don't get to overwatch his fights because he puts up his highlight videos for 5 minutes and then he takes him down. So that's probably my favorite fighter to study.
Nice.
Ooh, who's my favorite fighter of all time? George Satsui. What characters do you think is the most important for a fighter to have? Fight IQ, heart, reflexes, power, cardio. I'll tell you individually. For fight IQ and reflexes, one of my favorite fighters, hands down, Eddie Abasolo. Eddie Abasolo, a fellow Vallejo fighter, myself, Muay Thai practitioner, fights for Lion Fights, and man, I love watching that guy fight. I can't necessarily study it because he is a freak of nature. So, like, anything he does, one cannot simply watch and replicate. But, man, what that man does in the ring is poetry. It's beautiful every time. For heart and cardio, I would give that to actually two of fighters that I train under me. If anyone gets a chance, watch an Anthony McNutt fight or a Russell Bayersky fight, because both these kids, probably from watching me too much, just go forward, just head first, gloves down, and they just swing, and they don't stop until someone stops them. And every time I get to corner one of these young men, it reminds me why I'm in the sport. It attaches me to that inspiration that like I saw as it, like they make me like I'm in their corner and I turn into a kid watching heroes again. Yeah. And like these kids are younger than me and they inspire me every day.
Any interest from them in competing in the unified kickboxing rule set?
I'm gonna put that towards my boy Russell. I feel like he's a natural kickboxer. My boy Anthony McNutt, aka Chef Gucci McNasty. I give him the Muay Thai. I love the levels he throws. I love the combination he puts together, and I like the way my boy Russell puts his punches and kicks together. So like that's how I would split that up.
Very nice. Well, we're open to have you and your guys on anytime, Charles. Anytime.
And we're gonna have that call. We're gonna have that talk.
And, we're actually, between you and I, well, now it's not so much between you and I, we're looking to do...
Apparently.
Yeah, and between everyone here, we're looking to do some shows up north. So when that happens, we'll definitely reach out for sure. We need
more, man. I'm seeing it happen a lot easier because I've seen promotions a couple years back try to make that jump from SoCal to the Bay, or from NorCal to SoCal, and like I know there's usually been like a lot of friction with that, but I think things are opening up in a big way, and we can finally get to do what's right for the art. Because at the end of the day, more fights is better for our fighters. It's good for our fighters. It's good for the art. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You mentioned to me the art has done a lot for you.
It's helped tame the rage monster. It's been an absolute life-changing experience for me. Like I'm living my dream every day. Just like waking up and be like, who fights for glory?
That guy does.
I do.
That's funny
It's a,
stuff. I mean, it is an amazing accomplishment, and again, congrats on getting those 3 more fights, man. That's a really big deal.
oh no, that's 3 more years of fights with glory,
3 more
sir.
years, right?
3 more years of glory. I am happy as a clam right now.
How many fights do the guys typically get per year? Do you know?
We're looking to 3 to 4.
Nice.
Then that's and they're still giving me room to have Muay Thai fights when I'm not busy with them, and like as much as I love kickboxing, I love throwing bows. Like this is kind of my thing. So kickboxing is great for so many things, and like I love the pace. I love the artistry of working with the inboxing, which is something I didn't get to do with Muay Thai as much, and like it's a tremendous challenge for me. But like when I feel like really being myself, I came here for Muay Thai, and Bay Area Muay Thai is a phenomenon that I love being a part of.
Why do you think there aren't or there isn't a major Muay Thai promotion the way there's for Glory and for UFC, for MMA and stuff like that?
I think we're getting to that point. I feel like there was a lot of misunderstanding with for the most part, it was a cultural thing. Like, people didn't know when Muay Thai hits your ear, most people didn't know what it is. They were watching Tony Jaa movies every day like I was. So I understand, but I feel like I've been with it for almost a decade now, and I'm watching it grow, and especially in my neck of the woods, the Bay Area, and I feel like once people saw what it was and got to experience it live, and more people are just casually getting involved with it. Actually, I gotta thank Steve Fossum for that, because the new style of point kickboxing has made it so much more inclusive and appealing to so many people that I think it's growing very healthily now. I see a bright future for Muay Thai, which is why I'm posturing myself up to be an ambassador, try to make sure this goes as far as it can, as it's catching this spark.
Well, I mean, you definitely have the credentials. We look forward to you building and adding to those credentials, Charles. And after over an hour and 7 minutes on the podcast with you, Charles, I want to thank you.
Shut me up.
I could sit here and ask you, questions all day long, but I think it's best to leave it for another episode. I want to thank you again for your time, man. I really appreciate your time today, Charles. It means a lot.
This has been an absolute blast.
Thank you. It means a lot to a baby kickboxing promotion trying to come up in California,
Hey, man, I'm going to do what I can to push you forward. I want you out here. I'll hook up all the fighters. I'll get all the gyms that you need. Let's make this happen, bro. I'm trying to I'll also just if I can make an official announcement on your podcast before it close out. I will be running for the mayor of Muay Thai by the end of 20. So be looking out for my campaign. I'm going to be the official mayor of Muay Thai, and God willing, I'd like to get your vote.
Do you have to move to Thailand for that, or what's your jurisdiction?
I canceled my flight to Thailand because of the quarantine. But as soon as that's lifted, I'm going to Thailand. I'm going to soak up as much as I can. I'll be back and forth because I want to be the mayor of Bay Area Muay Thai specifically. I can't take over all of them.
I see.
I bump a lot of shoulders that would end up with a shin to my neck, but I think I could, as the mayor of Bay Area Muay Thai.
Well,
Charles,
you've earned that moniker, and that's how I'm going to refer to you from now on, Charles. Thank you so much. Before I let you go, Charles, anything you want to say, anyone you want to shout out?
Oh, man, you know what? If I could put together my list, who have I shout out? Of course, to all my fellow Glory fighters, please tune in. What was the last fight I was at was spectacular. This guy, Ignacio, out in Stockton, put on an amazing card. He hit me up. I was like, you're one a big representative for Muay Thai. Please come out to the show. I went out to it. It was Knock My Challenge 1. And he ended up getting this tremendous arena filled the crowd up, got tremendous talent there. I got to watch some amazing fights, and I hope we get to see a Knock My Challenge, another part 2 very soon. Knock Muay Challenge. Please check it out here in the Bay Area. FightersRep. Come on now.
Thank you,
gotta
man.
have them out
Thank
here in
you.
the Bay
Thank you. Thank you.
Do people not know your name yet? I don't know. Bree, who should I be shouting out right now?
By the way, Steve Fossum says he's casting the first vote for the Bay Area mayor of Muay Thai.
Hey, that's a big endorsement.
I think so.
I will do my best that he does not regret that.
From a president to a mayor, you need all the
There you
connections you can get.
That's what I'm talking about. If I could just show some love to my combat fitness family. Of course, I have my captain's hat on, but I've taken that off again for Miss Angel, our one of our coaches at Combat Fitness. She is a Bay Area Muay Thai legend. I'm actually going to be coming out with some shirts to be honoring her soon because she's just the bad woman on the planet. She's been my Muay Thai mom the whole time I've been there. She calls me baby as much as she gives me bloody noses. It's a very beautiful balance there. Anything else? Am I missing anything? I got everybody? All right, cool. I'm not going to get beat up for missing anybody, right?
Your mom.
Oh, yeah. And then I was like, I have from my Muay Thai mom to my mom. Hi, Mom.
Thank you so much, Mom, and thank you so much, Charles. Again, man, really, I appreciate it. If you're ever anywhere near Southern California, man, you let me know. I'll take care of you, man. I'll take care of you, and hopefully, we can do some shows up there and get your team involved. I would love that, brother.
Oh, it's going to happen, bro. Guaranteed.
Ladies and gentlemen, make sure to give him a follow on Instagram and anywhere else. He's also on Facebook. I saw you on the Facebook at that Rockstar Hype on Instagram. Definitely give him a follow. And again, thank you for your time, Charles. Much appreciated, brother.
Hey, and I thank you for having me on. I can't wait for number 2.
For sure. And until next time, knuckleheads, keep it clean. I'm the Fighters Rep with the Rockstar. We're out of here.
Bam.